Hello, Little Artist subscribers. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to go ahead and get another drawing started here in just a second. Be sure to share your drawings with us on Instagram at littleartist.sd so we can see the work you're doing. Thanks for joining. Enjoy the video. All right, so here we go. We're going to get started on our Angry Bird drawing. Remember, anytime you're starting a drawing on our channel, you're going to go ahead and start out with your border, okay? So you're going to have your border on there. You'll notice my camera will start to focus as I get more lines in here. You're going to get your border on here. It's about a 1/2 inch border all the way around and a couple of guidelines, one horizontally and one vertically. Okay, so we're going to start out with our first shape for our Angry Bird. We're going to draw the red Angry Bird. We're going to go ahead and start out with a nice big circle shape like this all the way around. Okay. Once we get that circle shape in there, you'll notice it's slightly off-centered here, and that's just fine. It'll give me some room over here to do the face. Second thing we're going to do is he's kind of looking over here to the side, so we're going to go ahead and take our pencil, draw ourselves a guideline. Make sure when you're drawing your guidelines for the middle here and for anything inside that you draw them very lightly so that you can erase them. Alright, now once we have that, we're going to come right down the middle here. We're going to kind of solidify the line here where the brows are going to be. So we'll darken it up a little bit, and we'll go ahead and draw a brow coming up this way and a brow coming up this way. Okay, this is the top part of the brows. Okay, this one's going to come just past our middle line here, depending upon where you have your circle. It'll come down on each side, and then we'll work another line back from this direction here. You'll notice it gets a little wider at the tip here, so it tapers. Tapering means that it's going to get either bigger or smaller depending upon which way you look at it. So it tapers in a little bit on each side, and if you need to adjust your lines like I'm going to do here, we'll straighten those out just a little bit there. Okay, so now that we have that in there, we're going to go ahead and draw in the beak. So the beak is going to come from here. It's going to be a triangle shape that comes down, slants across. Okay, it's a little larger over on this side than it is here. This angle is a little sharper up, and then it's going to come down this way, and then we'll put a slight curve coming from one corner to the other. Alright, now bottom of the beak, we're going to take from the corner here, we're going to draw a line here. It's going to have a slightly blunt point, which means that it's a point still, but it's like a rounded point like this, kind of more like a chin. And then when we come to draw the eyes, we're going to go ahead and draw those eyes all the way through the eyebrows and around and down and through the beak. Okay, we'll talk about what we're going to erase later. Now one eye, because of the way that this bird is turned, one eye is slightly bigger than the other, so you're going to have it a little bit bigger on this side, a little bit smaller on the right. Okay. As soon as we get that in there, parts of the eyes are going to erase. So you'll notice I'll put my little X's on here for where you're going to remove lines. X's down here for where you're going to remove lines. So those lines will disappear. So we'll go ahead and take those off here. We'll go ahead and take those off here. Now you can see that kind of tucks the eyes behind the beak, and our little guideline inside the beak can come out as well, and down below the beak. Okay, we'll keep the guideline up on the top just for a little bit longer. So now we kind of have the face structure in here. We're going to go ahead and get in the eyeballs here, or the pupils, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and get in the eyebrows, make sure that these are good here. Okay, so we're starting to look like our Angry Bird here. Now one of the things the Angry Bird has here is going to be a little belly, okay? So we're going to bring a nice little curve like this all the way through and back over to the other side here for the belly. And now we can go ahead and remove our other guidelines as well. Okay. So we'll go ahead and take these out of here. And there we go. Now we have a huge circle with the face on it. All right, so let's make it look like more like a bird. We're going to go ahead and put feathers on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this a little bit this way. We're going to take from the back here and put a nice big feather coming around like this and down, and another feather right up towards the top, coming around and down, connecting to the top of the head. So we have 2 feathers there. And now when you go ahead and draw in the tail, we're going to take a nice trapezoid. Okay, trapezoid again is going to taper, which means that it's going to come in, and it'll be a little wider on the top and a little thinner on the bottom. And once you have that, you're going to start from the same point here and come out on both sides. This one's not quite in the point there. You'll draw a little line coming across and across, and then it will come back down and connect, just like that. Okay, pretty simple so far. We're going to go ahead and erase out where these lines connect here. Any further guidelines you want to erase out, you can. So if you have any other inside the Angry Bird here, get rid of those out of the feathers up top, down below, and on our sides here. All right, perfect. And there you have it. There's our red Angry Bird. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and color our Angry Bird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with a nice dark purple, and anything that's going to have red, I'm going to go ahead and outline with the dark purple. Okay, so I'm going to take my dark purple and start working my way around. Remember, if you're going on top of your pencil, don't worry if you go off of your pencil, you can always erase it. So don't worry too much if you miss your line. See here, I can go ahead and erase that later. So you're going to take your purple. You could also use red if you want, but the purple will give you a little bit more of a pop along the edge. I'm going to work it down to the edge here, up along my belly line, back down to the other side, and around the top. And you can see I like to flip my picture upside down when I'm doing my nice curve so that I can get a nice clean line. So, just like that, there's our red. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and outline the beak. The beak is going to be a combination of oranges and yellows, so I'm going to outline my beak with a little bit of orange. Make sure that you sharpen your pencils before you start doing any kind of outlining. Okay, so we have that. And the eyes are going to end up being black, and the tail is going to end up being black, so we're going to save those for the end. We'll go ahead and start with our lightest colors first. So we're going to start on the top of the beak. There's a little bit of a highlight, so I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little highlight on top of the beak. Okay, so you're just going to color. You're using medium pressure, so you don't want to push too hard, you don't want to push too light. And this will kind of take on kind of a triangle shape here. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and work on the orange. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 2 layers of orange. I'm going to do a lighter layer on the top here. And I'm going to do another light layer on the bottom. And then my darker layer is going to come right along the bottom of the beak here. Okay, I'm going to do it in 2 spots along the bottom of the beak here. You can see, don't worry too much if you get a little bit where your red's going to be, and a little bit under the beak here to pop it out. And then we can smooth it in by just blending out the edge. Okay, now we have that done. We're going to go ahead and start working on our red. When you're doing your red, it's a pretty bold color. We don't want to go too light or it's going to look pink. So make sure you're going at least medium pressure. Okay, now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the belly. The belly is actually kind of a tan color, so I'm going to take a really light orangey brown, and go ahead and fill in the belly with a really, really soft layer, okay? The actual color of this pencil is much warmer and darker, but if I use it very lightly, I can create a nice tan color. And when you're using colored pencils, you can mix them as well. So if I want this to be a little bit different color, I can take another color and put it over top. I will go ahead and show you and demonstrate that if you want to change it, if I want to make it more dull, I can add maybe a little bit of gray. I'm going to actually take mine and go ahead and add in just a little bit of this golden yellow that we put on the beak so that you can see it. It's going to turn it into more of almost like a sand color. And it'll just warm that really light pressured brown up just a little bit. Okay, and you'll notice on the bottom I don't have an outline yet. That same light brown that we just used here, if I continue where my purple left off, I can continue a nice clean line all the way across the belly over to the other purple, just like that, to kind of pop it out. Okay, and your final step is going to be your black. So you're going to take your black and very, very carefully outline those eyebrows. Just like this. Same thing with the outside of the eyes and the pupils. You'll notice I'm coloring right over the top of the edge of my red so I get a nice clean line. Same thing here. Come around nice and clean. Get the little line right down the middle here. And get these pretty even there, and then you'll go ahead and outline your tail as well. Now once we get all of our outlining done, we'll do a little bit of color fill and we will finish up our Angry Bird. Just like that, it's color fill time. Okay guys, there you go. There you have it. There's our Angry Bird red. We're going to go ahead and sign our name down here at the bottom. And there you are. Thank you for joining me. Alright guys, that concludes the video for today. If you enjoyed what you saw, remember to subscribe so you can stay in touch, and remember to share your work on Instagram at littleartist.sd. Thanks for watching.